everybody, and welcome back to Roll for Opinion, a podcast about TTRPG talk. I'm your co-host, Gabby.
And I'm Caden.
There you go, on cue. And, today we are bringing in a special guest. Would you mind introducing yourself to us and the audience?
Hi, I'm Katie. I play in one of Caden's weekly games.
Nice. How long have you been playing TTRPGs?
So I think my first introduction to Dungeons and Dragons was actually Dungeons and Dragons Online in 2011. I think that was based on 3.5. And then in about 2012, my first actual at a table TTRPG was actually Paranoia.
Oh, wow, different.
Yeah.
I never heard of that one. What's that one?
Oh my gosh. So where do I start?
How is it different to D&D? I guess that's a good one.
All the way. So you say at least the way we did it, we were rolling our stats but adjusting each other's, so there was lots of interplayer conflict built into the game. The DM is a friend computer character, so it's a big brother all-seeing kind of situation,
like 2001 Space Odyssey HAL type situation.
A little bit.
Okay.
And then there's I think this is an optional rule. I don't think this is required, but it is in the book that so that they have a ranking system based on colors, and you start out at infrared, so you can touch gray and white things, and then it's red and you can touch red things, and it goes up the rainbow basically, and you can't touch anything in or out of character that is above your clearance level. So,
what do you mean by out of character? So you can't touch, if your dice are of a different color, you can't touch them. That's crazy.
So we would have people taking pictures with their phone of somebody that touched oh, you're not green, but you totally just ate that fried green bean, and send that picture to the DM that was the friend computer character. And you had a certain number of backups. So there wasn't hit points. Something happened and you died, and then you respawned with one of your backups, but you only had so many. And I'm pretty sure that you weren't actually supposed to finish the mission. It's supposed to be just a mess and a nightmare and a joke.
I see.
It was awesome.
What an odd intro.
It is.
I know.
I know, right? To TTRPGs, and that somehow hooked you in. You were like, this is for me.
Yep.
That's great. Maybe we should try that game out sometime.
I'm colorblind.
I would love to. Well, the good news is you don't have to play with the actually touching in real life colors rule.
True, because it would be virtual.
Yeah.
That's right.
Our cursor can't move over a certain color. That will be the house rule.
That would be fun.
Okay. So this episode is a bit different. I think last episode we mentioned we would be doing Nimble or Mothership. We keep flip-flopping between the two things. Those episodes will be coming out eventually. But we thought it would be fun as a little in-between breather to discuss some of our what would be the word? Some of our most anticipated Kickstarter projects. So all three of us here have picked one Kickstarter project that we want to bring to the table and talk about. And yeah, just kind of exposing the audience to games that they might want to look into, or each other about games that we didn't know about. So the way we're going to do this is roll for opinion. So we're going to each roll a d20 and essentially do like D&D. We're going to roll for initiative and see who goes first on their topic. So everybody, let's get to rolling.
Ooh, I dropped it. Okay.
Oh God.
Ooh.
Well, I got a nat 20.
I was gonna say that's the crit he didn't want.
Yeah, I didn't
See
want
it on
to
your
go for it.
face.
I got a 10.
That's unfortunate.
Me too.
Okay, so you guys can.
Rollies.
Roll
Yeah, you can
off.
roll off.
15.
Mine's on the floor. Is that a no?
If you can read it, it counts.
It is 9.
Hayden goes last. Oh, this is so unfortunate. I kind of wanted not to go first. Okay. So I'll bring up my first game. I will be talking about Fomoria. This game is really, really cool. The Kickstarter project has closed already, so you can't back it, unfortunately, but you can pre-order the game. It is made by Tania Herrero, who is a really good artist. They have done a lot of art for Morkborg, and which is a big TTRPG that a lot of people have heard about. We haven't played it yet. That's one of those games that eventually I do want to play.
I was gonna ask.
Yeah, no, I haven't. I've been so interested in all the Borg games, like
Since I saw him on
Borg.
Mystic Arts, I'm like, I want to try them all.
Yes, they all look so good. Corpborg, Starborg,
Pirate Borg.
Pirate Borg is one of the ones I really want to try. Yes,
I heard their
yeah.
rules light.
Yes.
They're extremely rules light.
They got me. Yes, I'd like to try.
They're really rules lights. And so this game is essentially that. It's the Morkborg system because the other co-creator of this game, Fomoria, is Johan Moore. He is the co-creator of Morkborg as well. Yeah,
spicy.
and also the co-creator of Cyborg, which is one of the Morkborg variants, as well as a bunch of other games that he's been making, and he's really good. If you go to the Kickstarter page for Fomoria, you might notice that the art style doesn't actually seem very similar to Morkborg or all the other Borg-like games, and it's because the primary artist for this, if I'm not mistaken, is Tania Herrero. And her art style is very much this that you see right now, which is very dark, folk-like, and has a very interesting color palette. So those are the creators. The game itself is folk horror, and it's an OSR. And the general premise is that you get to play as a member of a clan. In this case, clans are animals, which I always think is cool. A member of a clan in a world, an underground world overcome by darkness. And darkness is a huge mechanic here where you need to have like a lit lantern. Otherwise, you might start suffering from sanity loss. Creatures might get stronger, things like that.
Nice.
With the Morkborg system, an OSR, so you're very likely to die. And the big alteration from Morkborg and these other Borg systems is that you're bringing in clans. So in Morkborg, I think having a class is completely optional. Here, you have to choose and declare a clan, which customizes your character a bit. So you can be part of the wolves, the platypus, the pangolins, the goats. There's so many animals. I'm sure echidnas are there. I didn't see any.
Going with the
We'll
goats.
put them in. It'll be good.
I think they're still. I'm not sure if they're still looking for input. They have some pre-release material that you can download for free, or you can give them money. Up to you. I gave them $5 and I download all 3 things. You get like a quick start guide, some pre-generated characters, and a small one-shot campaign, which I think I'm going to run because it looked really cool.
Definitely put me in that.
Yes. Yeah, no, I say one shot, it might be a 2-shot, but honestly, it looks really cool and we can try this game out. And yeah, that's pretty much the game. I don't know. What do you guys think about it?
They had me darkness.
It looks sick as fuck.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
I always liked the darkness mechanic. I tried to integrate it into D&D and it didn't work because there's no sanity points to use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, what was that? Shadow Dark has kind of a similar thing going on for it too.
Nobody has dark vision, and torches only last an hour in real time.
Yeah. Yeah, so they try to do the same thing here.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
They do have, unfortunately, I think the way they track time for the torches, I might be wrong about this, but I think it's similar to Vagabond, where it's also like, remember those internal clocks that you used to keep track with? And I'm not the biggest fan of that.
Yeah. Just one more thing
So
to think about.
They might change it in the final release.
Also, what about the animals? I mean, is this animal like just a theme for the clan, or is this an actual do they have like animalistic characteristics? I don't know if I caught what you were saying there.
Yeah. So I'm looking at some of the pre-made sheets that they have for you, right? And this first character is Jotna, and they are a Morvarg of the Mocking clan. Basically, you get like a passive. The way you look is now you look like a wolf person, and you get like a passive, which plays into the game, and that's it. That's all you get from your clan is really just one passive.
So, but they are like animal people.
Yeah, they're literally animal people. The other piece of customization is you get boons. So this game has a lot of eldritch inspiration vibe going for it. And so you can have a boon, or you can like acquire a boon during the campaign where like an eldritch being gives you some sort of power with potentially some downside to it.
I was gonna say they have some kind of trade-offs in there too that look really cool.
Yes, yeah. Let me see if I can find one that's good.
I am personally, I've always been a huge fan of like really deep strategies in games. So like, I'm the min maxer.
Oh no!
Right. So I'm the one who like throws everything away and like I'm gonna get hit by this thing all the time. This is gonna insta-gig me, whatever. That's fine, because this over here is gonna wreck one bad guy's day really hard. So I've always been a fan of things that like sort of draw that spectrum like more broadly.
I kind of fail with crunchy combat. I don't know. I'm like the opposite. I lack there. Like I'm really lacking in the crunchy combat area, but as a player or a DM.
You have other strengths though, so it's fine.
Yeah.
And other preferences, so it's totally allowed.
Combat here in this game is pretty simple. Enemies always hit. So it's actually it's similar to Vagabond, except you have less abilities. The enemies always hit, and then the players are the ones who roll whether or not they dodge and like whether or not they hit. And then they always have an armor class which deduces the amount of damage. So it's not like whether you get hit with your armor class or not.
I can get
Just
behind
how much
that.
damage you take per time. Yeah.
I can get
Yeah, it
behind
goes much
that.
quicker.
The keeping the dice in the player's hands, if it speeds up combat, I don't get bogged down in the slog like I do in 5e, then I'm okay with that. But if it runs the same distance, then I want to be rolling. It runs the same pace. I want to be rolling dice too.
No, I think it's good. And also, I think something you're gonna really like about this as well, Caden, is that the adversary stat blocks are very, very simple.
Oh, they had me. They got me.
That's it. I think it's just like a few like 3 stats and an ability, and that's it. That's all you need.
Let's go. That's it. I will mix and match those. Now I could be tactical because now I'm taking this one ability and I'll take this adversary that has this ability. I'll put them together and I'll have them do this. Now I'm knocking stuff over. But that's something I could do. But paragraphs, I can't do that. I can't get crunchy with that. It's too much reading on the fly.
I don't even think the paragraphs is like a crunch thing. For me, I don't see the text wall as a crunch thing. Like I feel like that's cool flavor to like read on your own time, but like I'm never bringing that into a session. That's useless.
Well, we're thinking about like Daggerheart. Like a Daggerheart's adversaries have walls of text. Some of them.
Yeah.
On each
I'm going to
ability.
be honest. I have not. Okay, so D&D, I run. So I am very familiar with lots of stat blocks and stuff. And I'm in my first Daggerheart campaign right now. And I didn't want to have that. So I have very specifically like looked at as little as possible in the Daggerheart system.
Oh, you can go ahead.
Outside of my character.
It won't spoil it because I've been throwing things away as we've been going. As this campaign's progressed, I've scratched so much stuff out of the stat blocks, and I'm perfecting what I want to do with it anyways. So by the end of
You're doing great. We've got the sickest stuff I've ever seen in that game.
You guys are making me jealous. I'm like, you keep saying how good it is. Like,
it is so good.
For Moria, I heard something about what I know. It's got that Celtic sounding name. I heard like Celtic vibes to it. I think
so. It's like folky, Celtic, and I don't know if I want to say
I mean, the
grimdark.
team is the project is based in Stockholm.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Just listen to the first sentence of this. Brave the darkness, eat the heart of gods, and purge the filth of the red plague in a shifting subterranean world. This summer,
It kind of
in
gives me
IMAX
like
theater.
Elden Ring vibes. Like
This
that's a kind
does-
of like dark epic energy.
epic folk
Yes.
horror, which is crazy. That's a hell of a match. Epic folk horror. Aren't they like at odds? But
No, it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
I'm surprised nobody has like done a game of this aesthetic before, because it's like it just melds and together so well.
it sounds original
I'm-
as hell. I'm not gonna lie. It does sound like I don't think I've heard anything that sounds like this at
The
all.
art is sick too.
Well, I was gonna say, more than Elden Ring, it reminds me a bit more of Bloodborne,
Okay.
which
Yeah, I can see that.
which is, yeah, I think this is just great. No, and I really want to run this little campaign. This campaign, I read through the whole thing.
These
And you read it through like 5 minutes.
descriptions are evocative. The strata breathes. It shifts. It dreams in Stygian shades, a colossal sleeper stirring and reshaping its own flesh. What the? Who wrote this?
Well, you have two titans of TTRPG dark gaming like that. The people who are predominantly making Morkborg systems decided to come together and just make this masterpiece of a game.
The
And well,
artwork,
it's not out, so we won't know. But
the
I think
artwork
it's-
is phenomenal. I'm actually looking at this for the first time because I don't prepare for these things the way I probably should. So I've got no clue what's going on until we jump into the podcast.
I got y'all's picks and I was like pulling them up and like reading all their pages. Like I have the Femurio stuff all downloaded right next to my Stragovia stuff.
I did a quick Google and then that was it. I called it a night.
oh, I feel bad. I haven't looked at any of your stuff. I looked at
Don't sweat
Cadence. But yeah, okay. So we can move on to the next one. I think I've taken enough time on this.
KD,
I don't think you took enough. It's so pretty.
KD, you got the spotlight.
Yes. Yes. So the game I wanted to spotlight is called Stragovia. It is actually live at the moment. I think it ends in 12 days. And it is actually based out of Poland. So that's a fun one. But their tagline is Stragovia of blood and salt, dark folk fantasy. So it's more Slavic folklore than Celtic or Nordic. And honestly, the tone and the premise kind of reminds me of Age of Umbra in that it's like a very dark, sparsely occupied setting
Okay.
where you have like pockets of civilization or community, and then people will like foray out of that.
And I think the woods are trying to kill you, right? The
Woods are so trying to kill you. They want to drink your blood, bro.
I like that. The forest.
Yes. It's called the forest. It's like a named living entity in the game. And it's sort of like, this is something that people may disagree with me on. I feel like the forest is what the D&D cosmology wants to be, in that it is many different things that are all connected. They call them the forest floors, and you can travel between them, but it's unpredictable. It's every floor has like a different biome, a different kind of environment.
I'm a fan of that.
And yeah, so there are ways to go up and down floors, but you don't necessarily know which floor you're going to. You can't really orient yourself in space or time in the forest. There's not really like a good direction. I do think that interacts really interestingly with the concept of travel in TTRPGs, which I know is kind of like a hot topic of like, I have to go from here to the other side of the world. How long is that supposed to take? How should that feel? What should I do with this time? How do I make it feel like I'm going? Yeah, all that. it could be next door, it could be a year away. However long it takes is how long it takes because it's the forest.
So it abstracts it basically instead of because
Yes.
other games will do like a hex crawl, and they'll
Yeah.
like quantify it so like you go unit
So
to unit.
instead of hyper quantifying it, it does the opposite, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
And then it does have some concepts of it calls them wells and chimneys, where you can get like sucked to a floor that is higher or lower than you, that like you can't get out of as easily. So it's like there are limiters to your movement between floors as well, which I
It's
think is
shoots
really
and
cool.
ladders.
I know, that's what I thought too.
Shoots and ladders.
But they do emphasize that it is not linear. Like your players can't say, "Aha, we have learned what floor 1 is, and now we will go learn what floor 2 is." Like it's not something you can approach methodically like that, which I think is cool.
Okay, so it's not like a because I was thinking of when you mentioned floors of like a dungeon
Yeah,
crawl
like a
type
Denmachi
situation.
or something. Yeah.
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 Oh, that's cool. Is it so? Is this game? Quick question: like, is it an OSR, or is it like a heroic fantasy? Like, is it more of a D&D type game, or is it more of a something old school?
I think it would lean old school.
Okay.
I have less experience with that, so I don't want to like hard for sure say definitely it's this. But I think it definitely leans towards this is really dangerous. You could for real die here. So
That's what it sounds like.
yeah.
I found
It does say in their description, they're like, people here don't live very long.
I found something I like on the opening lines though.
Yeah, go for it.
This is every spell is a debt. So is there a cost system to the magic?
Oh my god, yes.
I like that.
Okay, so your let me break it down for you. Okay, so their stats. They have I think 8 stats. And they have 7. Yeah, 7 that are sort of like your basic stats. They don't map 1-to-1 onto like D&D or Daggerheart or anything, but they're, trying to measure the same sorts of things. You move quickly, you have good control of your body, you're really smart, you have good intuition, like that sort of stuff. And then there is the 8th stat is actually your affiliation, which they have, it's kind of like a faction rapport system a little bit between civilization and the forest. And where you fall on that scale interacts with your dice rolls. It interacts with how the world responds to you depending on where you are, which I think is super cool. But yeah, the magic is a cost. So each of your stats has a certain number of dice. That's your score. And every time you engage in what they call stakes, which are basically your encounters, anything where the story could diverge, you're going to roll for it. And then whatever stat you used, you'll roll however many dice you have. So like if you're rolling something with Spark and you have a 4 in that, you'll roll 4 of those dice. They're all D10s. And then at the end of that encounter, you will lose one of them. Okay. So every time you do anything, it costs you a dice.
I see that burnout dice system. It just sounded, the D10s and the dice pools are sounding real old World of Darkness. Do they explode?
The dice get even cooler. They do not explode. But you can burn dice if you have something that's like really important and you're really worried about succeeding. They have a system where you can basically say, if my score is 4, I want to roll 5 dice, but at the end I'm going to give up 2 instead of 1. So you can sort of like pay for a little boost if you need it. They also, another thing I really like about the dice system that they use is, a couple of things. One, all the rolls are like collaborative, so it basically counts the number of successes. It's all like team rolls. Okay. And you could use different skills on the roll if you are contributing in different ways. So like you don't all have to roll empathy. You can roll different skills depending on what you're doing, but it's all basically the DC is like how many successes you need, and a success is like a 7 to 10. But every number on the dice has a different effect. So 1s and 2s are fumbles, basically.
Yeah, crit failures.
Yeah, they don't call them that, but it's like, well, even if you succeed the roll, if you had ones and twos, you're going to have X, Y, and Z consequences, which I think is interesting. And they give each of them have different like symbols for the values. So there is an official dice that has symbols, but they map it onto a regular D10, so you don't need the special
Your
Strakovia dice to play.
Good. They
That's
almost
what I
lost
was.
me.
I was looking through their thing, and I was like, "Where are the dice?" And I see all these symbols. And I was like, "I don't know what these symbols are."
Yeah, so it'll tell you like in the rules, hey, this number matches to this symbol if you're using a regular D10, so they're not like forcing anyone to do anything weird. But they're like, oh, well, this is the forest symbol, so if you roll this and you have a forest affiliated character, this happens. Or if your character is civilization affiliated and you roll with forest, that like that's a different effect. And the fact that every roll is both cumulatively but also independently significant makes it really feel like you're rolling bones or casting runes. It like really brings up that sort of old world magic feel
Yeah.
for me. I think it's
That
cool.
witchcraft, druidcraft
Yes,
type feel. Yeah.
it totally feels like what I want hags to be, like Baba Yaga Slavic hags.
Yeah.
And their magic system is it's soft magic system. It has a hard counter. Salt will break any magic. So you can interrupt things with salt, and you can drive off magic creatures with salt, like actual literal just regular salt. Like it's not even fancy salt. It's just salt.
I don't know. That's kind of strong then, because then players are always going to try and exploit stuff. Then they'll be like, "Oh, you have a bunch of salt."
But it's a rare and precious resource. So imagine if, like in D&D, you had to fight monsters with gold, and your game wasn't broken, and your dungeon master wasn't giving you all the money in the world. You had to go earn it. You know, like it has a value. And then, so that the magic is debt magic. So there are some like rituals and some like seers and witches and stuff that like have a more established relationship with the forest and the magic, so they might know a few recipes, but there's very little knowledge. It's definitely more bargain based, where you're gonna do your ritual, you're gonna make your request, and you're gonna make an offering, and then the forest will you could make an offering to the forest, but I think kind of like there are different tiers of like devils and demons and stuff in D&D that can like give you different kinds of power and stuff.
Yep. Yeah.
It's similar to that. So like you could just be asking like this one Treant dude to like hold on to that guy for a second, or like you could be asking the forest to change your true name. They have true name magic. Big fan.
Oh, so is that like, if you know somebody's name, then now you can like control them or something?
Yeah, it's super fun. So the forest can exert control over people with their true names. But like if I as a player character have your true name as a player character, like we're just both people in civilization, that doesn't mean anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I can trade your true name to the forest.
Oh, that's good.
It's like
Yeah.
fairy magic doxing.
Exactly.
Yes.
Like you're bargaining with the DM, because now the GM can now do whatever he wants with you.
Yeah, and so you make an offering, and you can they list 3 tiers of offering that you can make. So there's the blood plea, which is just like you cut yourself basically.
Mm-hmm.
You're like saying you can have my blood. And then there is a living sacrifice. So like if you pick up a rabbit and be like, haha, entrails. And then there's human sacrifice is like the highest tier. And basically, depending on how you roll for that and what you're asking for and whether the sacrifice or the offering was enough, that'll determine like how the forest responds to your request. So like if you have a sufficient offering, you have a clear request, you roll well, like your thing's probably going to happen very similar to how you imagined, or have at least the effect that you wanted it to have, kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. But maybe if your offering is outright rejected, or if you roll really poorly, maybe they will twist what you said. maybe they'll do what you asked, but they'll do it in 3 days when it doesn't matter, or something like that. And then if your offering is not outright rejected, but is insufficient for the request that you have made or what they give you. So like if you ask for something and the forest gives you more than what you asked for, you are now in debt to the forest.
Oh,
And the forest will collect.
that's dangerous.
Yes, it is.
Ooh, that's fun though. I like that.
That's crazy.
It
I want
sounds
to play this
good.
so bad.
Forest is
so
gangster.
bad.
I didn't ask for that $20.
The forest is
I
gangster.
didn't ask for that, man.
Is
The
there
forest
like
is a
a?
mafia. It's the
there-
Fey
I-
mafia.
I see that they have like a quick starter guide. Do they have
They
like
do.
do they have like a small?
They
little
do have a
campaign?
one shot and pre-made characters. So if you guys want to run it, let me know. I have already read the whole thing, so I'm ready to go.
You should run it.
Oh,
I
there we
will.
go. You should run
Yes.
it. That would be great.
I
I would be happy to.
I would definitely jump in.
All right, bet.
So now we have 2 games going on. We have Fomoria and this one.
Yes.
I gotta quit my job.
No,
It's already been written in stone. I gotta do it now.
Yes.
nice. No, I think this game's cool. I would be. Oh, there's my cat. I would be very curious to play it and see how it runs.
Yeah, I would love to give it a shot.
I like the magic system.
Oh, I forgot one really important thing. Well, okay, debatable how important. No, it's important. I just got really excited and then I felt
important to
weird
you,
about that.
which makes
So-
it important.
They actually write 2 different strategies for dealing with combat. So, combat, like any other stakes encounter, you are going to pay a dice for. But they structure it so you can choose based on how your table likes to play. If you want to play narrative combat or zone combat. So if you
Oh.
are crunchy and you like to put the things on a map and, play through each individual attack, you can totally do that. You can use zone combat and it's going to cost you 1 dice at the end based on what you used the most during that combat. And they don't put it on a grid or anything. It is, like I said, it's just zone combat. So like here's, the 3 or 4 places and you're close or you're far. It's an abstracted like distance thing if
Yeah.
you want to use that. And then they have narrative combat, which just says this is our strategy for resolving this. This is how we're going to go. And the way, I don't have it pulled up in front of me, so I can't tell you verbatim, but essentially what they said was like, yeah, we want combat to be like it is in real life. Quick, messy, unforgiving.
Yeah.
And so if you are not a person who wants to spend a lot of time embroiled in combat, and even then, like it's not like D&D level, it's just more than the other kind. You can say, hey, we're doing this, and then you make your roll and sort of narrate it and then move on.
I like
And
that.
I like that it gives you that choice.
Yes.
I think that's a little.
And neither one of them has a mechanical impact different from the other. So it really is personal preference.
I like the classic rounds. I just want the rounds to be faster. The turns. I
They
like
don't
it.
do rounds. They have so they call them exchanges. But one of your stats, I think it's Spark, tells you how many actions you get in a turn. So you might have a faster character who gets more action economy.
Okay. But it's still rounds at the end of the day if you call it exchanges, because it's
Well,
like
listen. I didn't write it.
that's like in Daggerheart when they say like it's the spotlight, but
Oh yeah.
if you quantify it, it ends up being a round.
I will
It
say.
depends on how respectful you're.
Well, actually, again, clue winner, but there's no with Daggerheart. There's no clue when the round begins and where it ends, because I could pop in at any moment. But
It is, yeah.
That's a whole.
I mean, I
other
think in
conversation.
Daggerheart we sort of establish. If I had to say where a round was in Daggerheart, I would say it'd be like every like player round, because we try to go, okay, every player has gone before every player goes again. We try, unless someone has like a good idea or no idea. And I would say that like that sort of defines our rounds, but it's not well defined.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm popping in whenever. I feel like spinning fear.
I love that the monsters go outside of that, because I think it is kind of a little realistic that like a team of people working together might have some coordination and might act at a similar rate, but like your enemies, your monsters in the darkness, they're gonna do whatever.
Yeah, there's always going to be an interruption.
Yeah.
You guys know way more about your games than I know about what I'm presenting. You know, like I'm sitting here thinking the whole time, like they got so much information. I just read a quick blurb.
This is like, you know, in high school, you're like the last person who's going to present, and you're like, oh my God, I just made this presentation last night.
All right, let me jump in here though. Let me get this.
Yes.
Take it away.
All right, so what I picked out is something from the DNGN Club called How's My Driving? They have an actual play, and this is what made me look at the thing in the first place, because the actual play was pretty damn good. They were good. It was entertaining. It was really entertaining. The DM was great, or GM was great, and the characters, the players. That was like, I gotta check this thing out. And the fact that it's starting as a hack for Daggerheart to make it into a horror movie RPG.
Okay.
Ooh, interesting.
So here's what they got on their little itch.io thing. It's 2003. You and your friends have packed yourselves into the only car anyone owns and have taken to the open road. A cross-country road trip you will never forget. Around midnight, in the middle of a stretch of empty highway, you are suddenly jolted back from highway hypnosis as a rusty white van nearly runs you off the road. The van aggressively swerves back and forth across both lanes before speeding off into the distance. Its only identifying markers are the words "free candy" sprayed on the side and a bumper sticker that says, "How's my driving? Call." And then there's a number for you to actually call. I haven't called that. I don't feel like I still don't trust it.
Maybe.
Do it right now. Do it on.
I shouldn't, right? Oh,
You thought that we were just going to talk about it, but we're playing. You're in here now.
they've got their own hack of the duality dice system. They call it something else. I'm trying to find it. I think one of the things was fuel, and you build that up. Okay. But that's all well and good, but it's still duality dice. I like that they're taking. I just like that they're taking the parts that I like of Daggerheart and putting it in something else, because that's a great sign for the game that I'm really enjoying right now. Is that other people are doing something with the system.
So that's what I was going to ask. So this is basically just you take the mechanics that make Daggerheart the game, and you plug it into a whole different setting.
Yeah, and kind of redid like the class system and stuff like that.
I was going to ask that afterwards. Like, do they still have the classes and the ancestries and everything?
Not traditionally, but they have tropes. You pick from 10 different horror movie archetypes, including the baddie. This is my favorite. The baddie. The geezer, the jacket, the lover boy, the group mom, the dude, the virgin, the fixer, the kid, the muscle. I love these tropes. This is like old school horror movies.
And I could totally see these characters when you say them. I'm like, oh yeah, I know who that is.
Yep. There's no hit points though. This is anything that could kill you will kill you. So if something happens to you in game that would narratively kill a person, you're dead. I like how to the setting you end up at this mall, and it's I forgot how they described it, but it's evolving and changing. It's kind of like a liminal horror. It's got a touch of that in there because the mall isn't in reality. It's a paranormal place,
like an abstract,
like a mirage
place.
Yeah. And
I love the liminal stuff.
Yeah, they got me with that. They're doing all the right things to rope me in. That's all I know about it. That's it.
I think this is really cool. I think
it does look really cool.
I never thought somebody would take Daggerheart rules and act them this way.
No, it was so far off what the original game was, but using those mechanics, the duality dice and the way the turns bounce back and forth and all that. And I think, and they also, these people also did something else that I'm gonna plug here too. They've got the BCA, which is another Daggerheart campaign frame, Bureau of Chronological Affairs, which is just Loki's, what the TVA?
Yeah, the TVA, the time people. I forget the name.
They got a TV hack for Daggerheart, TVA hack for Daggerheart as well, which I think they're doing. I haven't checked that one out because that wasn't. I like the idea of it. I was entertained by the show, but I didn't really want to play in a game like that.
Yeah.
But I love that they did it. This though, I would definitely the way they played it out in the actual play. I was like, yes, I could play this game.
I really want to know more about the fuel points. So, because under no hit points, it says if you would. I'm assuming it means if you would die or if you would get hit, but it says instead if you would get, you must either. It just doesn't make sense.
That's definitely a typo.
Yeah, but I'm not sure what it's supposed to say instead. I have like a couple ideas, but regardless, that it's like you can spend a fuel point. So there's some kind of resource. You can reduce your fuel die, which I'm assuming is a combination resource and stat situation, or increase the speed limit.
I've got you right here. Fuel points can be spent for a number of effects. Narrowly escape death. Use an experience to add a +2 to a roll. This is Daggerheart stuff here we're talking about. Improvise using your surroundings. Help an ally. Roll your fuel die and add it to the result. On a failure, you will also suffer a consequence. Purchase resources from NPCs. Players may pool points when purchasing resources. The fuel die starts as a D12. It can go down. All right. You also got
so it can't go up, huh?
The fear die stays the same. I think you can. It says you can replenish it by finding helpful resources or NPCs, but you burn it away too. The fear die is the same as it's always been, I believe.
I like that you can like trade help right now for like.
They've got this speed limit.
It's going to be harder to succeed later.
Yeah.
I love that kind of thing.
They've got this character called a driver that you could summon to the scene, and that's like this guy stalking you. So like you spend fear points to summon the driver. Like in the horror movie, he just keeps popping up.
No.
This is great.
Actually, I just called the number.
Get out of here.
I thought you might be doing that.
I just called it, and I think I might be cursed. I think they put a curse on me. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. It's just like a voicemail, a recording of like evil laughing, and then it cuts.
I'm not calling it. I'm not calling it.
You should call it.
There's gonna be a movie about this 20 years from now. The people that call that
it's
number.
gonna be like, oh, these guys called the number, and
this footage that we're taking right now, this is gonna be the
on the documentary.
But like these idiots didn't know what they were doing.
They made a dumb movie like that though. It was a horror movie. Oh, I forgot the name, but it was some kids who did a lot of like FaceTime, and the premise of the movie was like the whole horror movie happened through a FaceTime perspective. So people, and it was terrible. It was a terrible movie, but people will be killed on like the behind the scenes in the camera or something. Like
never
that.
hangs up. Like, I don't need this hand for anything.
I think they were like, it's a joke. It can't be real. So none of them like ended the call or anything like that.
They did that before. They did that before smartphones. I can't remember the name of it. Blair Witch. That's the closest thing to FaceTime. The dude was holding the camera like this, and it's back when they had bulky cameras.
But that was I really liked the Blair Witch Project. That was revolutionary. It was the first time they did like the first person camcorder perspective.
But Blair Witch wasn't about the camera, right? Like that was just the perspective they shot it from.
He was holding the camera, filming himself. But I think the
FaceTime thing was like the FaceTime was connected to the horror element. Is that?
I feel like it's kind of the same. Where like with the Blair Witch, they're using the fact that you're restricted to the camera point of view to evoke horror, and that's the same thing that they tried to do with the FaceTime thing. It just doesn't work.
I will say, I was alive when it came out, and I was old enough to know, like they had this documentary. I can't speak tonight. This documentary released. It was a fake documentary about the footage that was found in a wall, like in a wall. They made it so. This is like back when everybody believed anything they heard in a documentary on TV. Actually, they kind of still do. I don't think. I was gonna
say I talked to my mom the other day about the Blair Witch Project, coincidentally, and she was like, "Oh, we all thought it was real." I was like, how could you all think it actually happened?
They
Like,
had that fake documentary. Go look that up
Yeah.
because that's what did it. It came out before the release and it was all planned and it made it big. Everybody's like, "Oh, this is real footage from something." It wasn't. But yeah. Now I'm jaded to documentaries. Like I don't believe any
I
of
think
them.
all of us, everybody was more likely to call it AI than anything.
You're trying to teach me about whales and I'm calling BS. And I don't believe that.
It's definitely the source. Like there's some context and sources that I'm like, yeah, I believe that for sure. But then even if it's presented factually, if it's outside of a context that I already trust, I'm like, let me go see if that's true before I tell anyone else this new fact I have.
TV lost me. The History Channel? No. No way. Nothing that comes on the History
aliens
Channel anymore.
meme?
Yeah, the aliens?
Yeah.
Oh, this devolved. This one.
Oh yeah, we went on a tangent.
We swerved.
That's normal for us. That was a good pun though. We swerved. We were driving. This is
Anthony Birch would make you take a D4 of damage for that.
a psychic damage.
Yeah.
True. This sounds like a great hack. I didn't know they had another one, the BCA. That looks cool as well. Oh man, these are so many great games that now we have to try out.
Now this I want to bring this up. Somebody released a Bob World Builder.
Yep.
I watched, and he was talking about something from like for a few years ago when somebody wrote this post where everybody's making fun of now because of all the Kickstarters, where he said the golden age of TTRPGs is dead. I didn't read the post personally, but I see them making videos now about it. Now we're revisiting that. Yes, the lie detector test determined that was a lie. That like this is the gold. Like I've never seen so many TTRPGs with actual players. That's the key, because there's always been a ton of them. There's always been somebody that loves this hobby enough to go make their own thing. But now you're seeing people that like I can go on whoever's TTRPG's Discord server and find a handful of people to play with.
Yep.
Well,
Like it might be harder, but there are people that will play.
There definitely are. I think a lot of people got hooked with D&D, and now I think a lot of people are branching out to other games.
Look at Vagabond though. Vagabond was a relatively small community, even though it's big on the YouTube. When I went to the Discord server, it was pretty small. It wasn't a lot of people. It did not take long for us to put together a group. It was like that. It was instant. And that,
Well, you got them from the Vagabond.
yeah, from
Discord
their
group, right?
Discord server. That's what I'm saying. Every one of these TTRPGs has their own Discord, has their own Reddit, and they have dedicated fans before they even come out. So it's not hard to find people that are enthusiastic about playing the game. So if you want to try it out, there's people out there. It's never been that way for anything but D&D. Like, and then
I love that
Pathfinder
you
for a
also
little
get
while.
people that are like crunchy enough. I'm gonna call it crunchy. I think it falls under that umbrella, but maybe it doesn't. That want to play multiple different games. So like some people that are looking for their perfect soulmate game, but a lot of people that genuinely enjoy multiple different kinds of games and want to try and play multiple types of games. Like I like D&D, it's fine. But I also like these other games and I want to play all of them actively. You know, I'm not like trying, I mean, I'll throw something away if I don't like it, but like I'm going to actively engage with multiple systems.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are.
Yeah, I think once you start branching out of like the mainstream games and you go even like this happened to me when I started looking for players to run Mothership. Like the first group of random people I found, they all were open and have played multiple different game systems. And I think that's just kind of like everybody who's outside searching for a different game system is like finding each other in a sort of way. Mm-hmm. If you were to go to D&D and you tell somebody who's a group of people who've only ever played D&D, oh, do you guys want to try out Mothership or Mythic Bastionland or something? And they're like, this is too different from. This is what is it and it's too different. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's the people that think everything is D&D. You're just like, oh, that's D&D, right? When you explain what a TTRPG is, oh, that's Dungeons and Dragons. It's like, yeah, sure.
It's a little bit. It's an iceberg. The top of the iceberg is the people who are like so this is what D&D is, and they're like, I still don't understand how that is a game. It doesn't make any sense to me. That's my favorite. It's like, so you guys are sitting around throwing dice and make believe, and I was like, yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
And it's dope.
And it's cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not cringe.
I will say the first TTRPG I ever heard about was not Dungeons and Dragons though.
Yeah. What was it?
I found this book in the bookstore at the mall. It was called Vampire: The Dark Ages. It was off of Vampire the Masquerade, and I didn't know what any of that was, but I thought the lore was so cool that I had to have the book. And I thumbed through that, and then I got Changeling, the Dreaming. I didn't have anybody to play with because nobody I knew was into anything like that. I couldn't even possibly find a player. But I looked through those forever, and then I ended up playing like Dungeons and Dragons in 2006, and I was like, so that's what that was, and that made the connection to TTRPGs.
Yes.
That's very different.
Beautiful.
No, to me, mine is pretty basic. I saw cartoons. I think somebody parodied D&D, and I was like, you know what? I want to play a game like that. And then that's how I found D&D.
How'd you find D&D, Kate?
Dungeons and Dragons Online.
Oh, you
said
I was like a solo player, and I was like, I one of my friends at school, because I of course hung out with nerds because that's what I am, and they were like, you should play this game with us, and I was like, yeah, I don't know, whatever, because I lived under a rock and I didn't do anything fun, I guess, and then I did download it, and I was like, wait, this is the shit, and then you play that enough for a while and like your guild dies, and then your next guild dies, and then you're like, I have 6 prestige characters, like there's got to be more, and then you go play at a table.
You get roped in.
Yes.
That's what's happening with Baldur's Gate. I think a lot of people got into D&D because of Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, I played with somebody, I had no clue what Dungeons and Dragons was, and as soon as I started explaining, he was like, oh, so like Baldur's Gate. I was like, that. Yeah. Yes, put in your head.
Yep.
We don't have that on the TV.
Yeah. Okay. I think we've gone long enough. We were trying to keep this one short, and I think we
never happens.
Yeah, we never keep it short.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we'll break it in two again.
Should. No, I don't know. Maybe that could be a good idea. We find a good breaking point. But okay, yeah, I'll do a small outro. So I think for our next episode, we keep making claims as to what we're gonna do for our next episode, and we never fall through with it. But I think next episode will definitely be Mothership.
Yes.
For Nimble, we still want to play it a bit more before we get the review out. Mothership, I've had plenty of experience. Kaden is playing a game soon, and I think collectively we'll have enough to talk about after that.
And I also like to say that I really like that I could do the whole thing from my phone.
Oh yeah, we will definitely talk about that in the podcast.
That's crazy. That. Yeah.
Yes, there's so much to talk about that game. That game's awesome. Okay, we'll leave it there. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you like the conversation, please like, comment, subscribe. We also have a Spotify account. If you prefer an audio version of that, go check it out. I should have said that in the beginning. But yeah, catch us next time on Roll for Opinion.
Bye.
Peace.